Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Southern Florida Dynasty featuring Coach Grossman here on NCAA 14, using that college football revamp, of course, as we get ourselves through American Conference play. We're currently undefeated. We got at least a fundamentally sound opponent ahead of us. Tulsa is 4-2 right now, but at least on paper we should be heavily favored. We got a B+ squad with a B+ offense and a B defense. Meanwhile, Tulsa has a really good offense at B+, but they have a C+ defense to go with it as well. So could very well be a high-scoring game. Tulsa does have a ton of players hurt, though. At least 3 players on their injury list. They are still riding a 3-game winning streak despite that. So all that being said, it should be a really good episode here for you guys. I hope you're excited for it, and if you are, do me a favor and please smash that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new. With all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see if we can go 6-0 on the season. Let's go, baby. So let's go ahead and get this game against the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes officially underway, as they will start the game off with a drop back from Willie over to the right-hand side. Finds Jones and does manage to go ahead and pick up a first down. That's Malachi Jones with a gain of 11. As it will open things up here for the running game, as they'll hand it off to their star running back, Jordan Guidry, who is an absolute tank but fumbles the ball, though. Jaden Muskrat, one of the offensive linemen for Tulsa, actually did end up going ahead and falling on that football. So now, here comes Tulsa. They're going back to Jordan Guidry, even though he just fumbled the football. And he's also to a really good start so far, as they'll go to a different running back. This time it's Levers. This is their home run guy, and he certainly almost hit a home run, but he's got himself to about third base, that 27-yard run. It does get Tulsa into the red zone, as Lilly, looking over to the left-hand side, finds Gilbert Clark for a 7-yard gain. As it sets up a 1st and goal, we'll see if Jordan Guidry will go and finish the drive, and he will do just that, as he is able to go ahead and bounce it out to the outside. Touchdown, Tulsa! And the Golden Hurricanes will strike first. They will go ahead and take an early 7-0 lead. So now the USF offense comes out onto the field, and Timmy Mclean, he's been an absolute stud. He's going to actually break this one. He's got some speed to work with. Doesn't get caught to about the 35-yard line. Great run by Timmy Mclean. Let's see if we can get this passing game going a little bit more as we drop back the pass. Facing a quick pass because they were sending a blitz. Thankfully, Gunnar Greenwald was wide but naked open. Broke a tackle, gained 22. And it does get us in the red zone where we look to finish the drive. Timmy Mclean looking for the end zone, but it's going to be marked just shy. A gain of 4. But a goal line situation nonetheless. We run another play action, actually a read option, and Timmy Mclean will just go ahead and run it into the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Florida. And the Bulls will strike back here at home in just our second home game of the season. We've been some road warriors throughout the season so far. It does feel good to finally get a home game, be out here where we're still set up in Tampa Bay's Pro Football Stadium. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers call this place home. I guess in college football revamp, the USF stadium that is actually in place in real life. It's still being constructed here in the virtual world. So in the meantime, I'm going to be here in Raymond Jones Stadium. Starting to fill up those seats a little bit here. Still see some empty seats, but we'll get it up to a full house eventually. I can really see it. But this Tulsa team is seriously putting up a fight, though. Malachi Jones picks up yet another first down, as they're on the edge of the red zone here, 3rd and 12. Willie looking to the right. He's going to end up throwing it to the right-hand side. It finds Trayon. into the end zone. Touchdown, Tulsa. But hang on just a minute now. There's a flag, and it's offensive pass interference on Malachi Jones. So that will knock him back to the 35-yard line where it's 4th and 22. It's going to try to unload towards the end zone, but it's going to be intercepted by A.J. Hamilton. And that is a huge swing of momentum as the touchdown's wiped off the board. And USF will take over. Play action. We'll get to the right-hand side, but it's going to be intercepted right back by Johnson down the sideline. And the quarterback does at least push him out of bounds. But Bo Johnson, literally the very next play, by the way, able to get the interception right back. So Tulsa is going to go ahead and take over again. We'll see if they have a different result this time here on 3rd and goal. As Willie will throw over the middle, but it's intercepted once more. Another pick. This time, it's the middle linebacker who's able to get his paws on the football. So that will be a good old-fashioned touchback. As we try to throw over the middle, we are looking for the slants. And the turnovers just keep coming. 4 consecutive possessions between both of these teams end up finishing in an interception. You literally could not make this up. Tulsa does end up going ahead and making it a settling for the field goal, not a turnover. So that's a really big deal, to say the least. So that being said, got a 1st and 10 coming up as Timmy Mclean working in a 4-wide set, dropping back, looking over the middle, and finds Sincere Brown. He will cut forward to get across the 1st down marker. It's a gain of 12. As a few plays later now, another 4-wide set here. Mclean dropping back, going to throw quickly to the left-hand side. It's Jimmy Horn Jr., and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, USF. And the Bulls take a 14-10 lead. They take it right back as the low throw sets it up to where only Jimmy Horn Jr. could get to that football. And just like that, we will see the Bulls take a 14-10 lead as they're going to actually go wild counter next possession. And Guidry picking up a decent chunk of yards, but looks who ends up picking the ball up for us. It is Grandy Nugent who gets the fumble recovery, actually. And we couldn't do anything much with it. We did have to settle for a field goal there, but we do at least go ahead and extend our lead. Up 17-10 now. And I don't know why these teams keep punting over to Ben Archie, as Archie gets some great space. 29-yard gain. Do these people not watch what he did in the Tulane game? I don't know what they're even trying to do right now, but whatever they're doing, kicking it to Ben Archie, that is not the move, and it sets up really great field position, capitalized by the Sincere Brown catch as it gets us inside the 10-yard line. 2nd and 5, McLean, halfback screen, gets it out to the outside, and it's going to be a foot race, which Brian Batty will win with relative ease. Gets that joint into the end zone, man. Touchdown, USF. And it's now a 24-10 lead. And Tulsa does go free and out on their next possession. So we got less than 2 minutes left to play here in the 1st half. Let's see if we can capitalize and get some more points on the board before we go ahead and jump into the halftime locker room. As now, 1st and 10, gonna throw to the right-hand side, and that was a difficult throw for Jimmy Mclean to make. Throwing it across his body, still delivered a really accurate ball nonetheless. As McLean, throwing to his right, finds Brian Batty once again. And he'll pick up yet another 1st down, saves the timeouts. As we'll go no huddle quick, we get the boys up to the line of scrimmage. Still in a 4-wide set. McLean taking the snap, looking to his right, gonna sit patiently and finds Jimmy Horn Jr. He's got a blocker, and he's gonna be in the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Florida. And how about that drive by Timmy Mclean as it sets up his third passing touchdown of the first half. He has been absolutely electric here, but Tulsa is going to respond quickly though, as Westmoreland winning on the one-on-one. A.J. Hamilton getting lost, could not locate the football, and Zach Westmoreland makes him pay for it dearly. A 75-yard touchdown right up the left-hand sideline. So that does take us into the locker room. We're still up 34-17, despite the fact that we did give up that really big play before the end of the first half. But that being said, we can come with a great play of our own as Ben Archie ends up getting cut down at about the 40-yard line. We'll see if we can do something after that great kick return. I don't want to go free and out here as Brian Batty fighting forward, but it's going to be just shy of the sticks. A 4th and inches coming up here. And you know what? We're going to go for it. Only need 1 inch. Looking at Brian Batty, the preseason All-American, fighting forward and picking up a gain of 12 that will set up a brand new set of downs that we get to work with. Is now 3rd and long. McLean looking to his right. He finds Gunnar Greenwald in the corner. Could not turn it forward to pick up the touchdown. But we do not have to wait too much longer though, as Timmy Mclean looks to his left and finds the tight end again. It's another touchdown for Southern Florida. And it's the 4th passing touchdown for Timmy Mclean, as he has been absolutely surgical against the Tulsa defense today. You absolutely love to see it. And it gives us a 41-17 lead to work with, as Louis definitely in a rough spot, and it's going to make it worse. A.J. Hamilton gets intercepted. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is the 2nd interception for A.J. Hamilton in this ball game. He has been an absolute menace in the secondary, and will instantly turn it into points as McLean looks over the middle and finds a wide but naked open Sincere Brown in the end zone once again. Touchdown, Southern Florida. And that will end up tying the school record for most passing touchdowns in a game. That was the 5th one for Timmy Mclean. And another touchdown coming off of a turnover. So a 48-17 affair, but it's only going to get worse as A.J. Hamilton gets another interception. That's the 5th turnover. And A.J. Hamilton, he also ties the school record for most interceptions in a game. That's his 3rd interception. Told you this is a bad man, A.J. Hamilton. You need to stop playing with this, brother. I swear to God. They keep throwing in this direction, you know. Playing stupid games, you're going to get stupid prizes, you know what I'm saying? But it sets up a goal line opportunity. 2nd and 5. Throwing to the right and finds Jimmy Horn Jr. in the right-hand side. Touchdown. And Timmy Mclean off that throw gets the school record for most passing touchdowns in a game, set all the way back in 2002. So that being said, how about Timmy Mclean with a great individual day to start this episode? And the thing is, like, we still have a whole nother quarter left to play. Granted, I don't know how much longer we're going to keep going here, simply because as Timmy Mclean ends up getting the face mask, and thankfully they do end up calling it. It's going to be on Shaquan Loyal. But man, I'll tell you what, we got to wear these uniforms again. This is the first time wearing these unis this season. And I'm telling you, as of right now, I mean, maybe this is the best uniforms for us. I mean, may not be the best uniforms, you know what I'm saying? You know, usually not a highlighter green kind of guy per se, but Brian Batty finds the end zone once again. He will get into the act. His first rushing touchdown of the day, as Brian Batty makes sure that we put up at least a 60 burger. We will end up putting in the backups after that touchdown. And look what we end up doing to poor Tulsa, man. They never stood a chance. They had a really suspect defense coming in, and we surely exposed them, boys. Let's be real here. Winning 72-24. So you want to talk about an absolute slaughter fest? Oh my goodness. We put up not a 50 burger, not a 60 burger. Oh no, we put up a 70 burger on that putrid Tulsa defense. It was not ready for the athleticism that we had on the field, man. The crazy part is, first quarter was normal. Tulsa got the lead, credit where credit is due, but 27-7 in the second quarter. 35-0 in the third quarter. It could have been significantly worse if we didn't go ahead and pull our starters out like during that third quarter. Once Brian Batty did end up getting that 25-yard run. So yeah, this game could have been a lot worse, but great game on the offensive side of the ball. Now for Timmy Mclean, it was a little bit of a slow start, having those 2 interceptions in the first quarter, but he responded nicely. A school record 6 touchdown passes, 380 yards passing, 26 for 38 as well. Katavius Marsh did also come in as well, mainly for the fourth quarter mop-up duty, 7 for 10, 90 yards, and a touchdown to go with it as well. Now for the ground game, we did not have a 100-yard rusher, but Brian Batty was really close though, 14 for 98 and a touchdown on the ground. Timmy Mclean did also get into the end zone as well, 8 for 50, and then Ben Archie mostly getting his carries in the fourth quarter, but 14 carries for 71 yards. He was really good too. Now for the receivers, Sincere Brown had himself an absolute day. 8 catches, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Horn Jr. also straight up ties the school record for most receiving touchdowns in a single game, I believe. 5 for 108, so that's really cool. Brian Batty also found the end zone through the air, 6 for 41. And then Gunnar Greenwald caught a touchdown pass too. 4 catches for 46 yards in this one. As for our defense, the defense was, did a really good job today overall. We gave up a few big plays, but overall, 6 turnovers, you can't really complain. Christopher Townsend led the team in tackles. He ended up with 5 in this one. Nugent, Jordan Smith, and Todd Walden ended up with 4 apiece. We also got to this quarterback a few times. Joe McCormick got a sack. Jordan Smith got a sack as well. And then Todd Walden was able to get in there and get a sack in addition to that. But like I said, the biggest story was our defense. A.J. Hamilton tying the school record for another number of interceptions in a game. He ended up with 3 interceptions. Jamari Stewart also had an interception as well to go with it. And then not to mention, we forced 3 forced fumbles. Dominique Castillo forced a fumble. Jordan Smith forced a fumble. Brandon Adams also forced a fumble. But we only recovered 2 of them though. Castillo with 1, and then Grady Nugent also recovered a fumble himself. No defensive touchdowns in this one, but that being said, love how this team played overall. So since we went ahead and simulated into the next week, first and foremost, we got a ton of recruiting battles going on. Most notably, Ivan Bonewis, trying to go ahead and get him to come to our school. But we do also get a recruit to sign on the dotted line as well. We got Ryan Wood to sign with the squad. JUCO quarterback will at least go ahead and provide some depth for us moving forward. But look at all those records that we got. Oh, that feels so good. So I figured I would go ahead and make this a doubleheader as well, since that Tulsa game was so bad. Let's see if we can do the same thing to East Carolina. We're on the road, but East Carolina isn't, at least the records show that they aren't as good, 3-5, but they match up a little bit better for us on paper. B+ offense, B- defense overall. Lee Corso is going to be rocking with us, and I am so shocked that we are not ranked yet. How close are we to getting in the top 25? We have to be at least kind of close to getting to that top 25, right? And we're literally the first team in the others receiving votes. So we're ranked 26th in the nation right now. They have not, you would think a big win that we just got would get us over, you know, at least into the 20s, but I mean, that's a group of 5 disrespect, man. At the end of the day, it shows a little bit even in NCAA 14, but I guess that's but I guess that simply means that we just gotta go and take that frustration out on the East Carolina Pirates. By the way, if you guys are enjoying it right now, make sure you smash this like button, hit that subscribe button. You have to be brand new. Shoot, hit me up down in the comments as well if you're enjoying the content, man. Let me know. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and hit the field against East Carolina. Let's see if we can do the same thing that we just did to Tulsa. So we'll go ahead and see if we can continue the offensive dominance that we experienced in a Tulsa game. But East Carolina, they got some other plans, though, as Garcia, he's going to carry himself all the way to about midfield. A 15-yard run for Mason Garcia that will help the East Carolina Pirates pick up a first down. It's now 3rd and 5. It's Savage looking forward, and how about that effort by Tyler Savage? Able to dive for the first down marker and picking up another first down for ECU as they look for the very first points of the game. Got tight end in motion. Garcia looking, gonna throw it to his man Tyler Savage, who gets stuck on a blocker but still managing to pick up a 14-yard gain. And we'll see if the USF Bulls can finally get him off the field. Is now 3rd and 4. Garcia looking to the left. He finds his receiver, Ray Rose, for a gain of 5. As it's a goal line situation now for the East Carolina Pirates. They look to take the lead for the first time in this game here late in the first quarter. As Garcia under shotgun, it's going to drop back. Walden taking on 3 defenders, gets loose and forces the fumble, and look who ends up recovering it. It's the Southern Florida Bulls. And how about that effort by Walton, finding through essentially a triple team, getting behind Marcia Garcia and forcing that fumble. Now, unfortunately, we did not do anything following that fumble, but we do keep him at bay for the time being. A 3-0 game here still. Pretty defensive affair pretty early, though. East Carolina still looking for the first touchdown of the game, and they will not be denied this time around as Brandon Randall will find the end zone for the East Carolina Pirates. It's a touchdown that will give them a 7-3 lead here early in this second quarter. And how about that push by the offensive line, pushing our guys back? And that is something that I do want to work on. You know, we've been playing really good, but we could stand to get better at a lot of these different positions that we have on our team. When it's all said and done, I want to have stars all over the field. I want to be the Alabama of the American Conference when it's all said and done. Right now, we're on a good track. Still have not lost yet as a head coach at the FBS level. But East Carolina certainly challenging that fury as Brian Batty, he's going to go ahead and pick up the first down on the ground. A gain of 10 is now 2nd and 6. Got a 4 wide set. McLean looks to the right, finds Yusef Terry in tight double coverage, but still managed to squeak that thing in there anyways. And it will get us into the red zone here as we look to retake the lead. McLean looks to the left and finds Jimmy Horn Jr. into the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Florida. And the Bulls will go ahead and take a 10-7 lead. You absolutely love to see it. As we cut into the second half, it's now 13-7. As McLean wants to take a deep shot, but you gotta lob that thing up, McLean. You know, as great as McLean has been over the course of the season so far, sometimes, you know, he could stand to, you know, learn which kind of throw to throw on a more consistent basis. Because that ended up costing us a field goal. Defense held up, but we're allowing East Carolina in this game honestly a little bit longer than I would personally be comfortable with. And here come Ben Archie down the sideline trying to cut it back. Will end up being tackled across midfield. And that's the spark that we need on offense. Because right now, we've been keeping East Carolina in this game a little too long. We'll see if we can change that here and get a quick touchdown on this drive. Let's establish our rhythm. 2nd and 8. Read option coming up. Going to fake it to Brian Batsey. He's going to go ahead. He's got some space to work with. Cutting it to the outside. And Mclean is finally brought down inside the 5-yard line as they close in on the first scoring touchdown for USF in the second half. And they complete it. It's Gunnar Greenwald in the end zone. And it's once again a 2-possession game as Gunnar Greenwald able to get open on the play action over to the left-hand side. And Southern Florida will take a 20-10 lead. We'll see how the Pirates of East Carolina do respond, but how about this? It's an interception by Jalen Stokes, and it's an open run to the end zone. Touchdown, Bulls. Let's go, man. Jalen Stokes, how about this? Making a play for your defense. Pick 6, man. And if I'm not mistaken, that is our first defensive touchdown of the entire season. And we're now up 27-10 right now. That is absolutely amazing to see as Garcia looks over the middle. Does not get intercepted this time. He does end up finding Hudson for a 29-yard gain. It's now 1st and 10 from midfield. East Carolina in desperate need of a response. Garcia dropping back, finds Tyler Savage again, and he finds forward for a first down, another gain of 11. Tyler Savage been making some big catches, even though his stat line may not be all that big thus far, as we do see another 3rd down that the East Carolina Pirates are going to end up converting here. And here comes ECU. They got the purple and yellow out here. And there's a lot of people in the stadium right now. Even though the team has been pretty mediocre this season, they are definitely faithful to their East Carolina football team. As the Boneyard wants to erupt, we'll see if the offense will allow it. Garcia dropping back, right-hand side, and it's going to be a touchdown for Larry Walker. And the Pirates do end up responding after a pick 6 on the last drive. And they are certainly not done yet. Just a 10-point game once again. But we'll see if we can come with some offensive points of our own. They kick it to Ben Archie. And I don't know what these teams are doing, man. You do not, under any circumstance, kick it to Ben Archie, because he can do some things like this. Archie down the sideline. Breaks 1 tackle. Is going to break a 2nd one. No one's going to need a 3rd. Because Ben Archie, with an NCAA record of 106 yards, sent by Virginia wide receiver Joe Reed. And an instant response for Southern Florida. As it's now a 34-17 game. Mclean looking towards the end zone. Once Yusef Terry. And how about the Moss? Oh my, one-on-one on the outside. And Yusef Terry was able to find a way to win it. How about that big-time throw by Timmy Mclean, as Yusef was able to go ahead and high point the football using that athleticism. And that's really the thing with this Southern Florida team, between the stops that we made at Air Force, at Maryland, and now here in Southern Florida. I'm pretty sure that this is the most athletic team that I've had the opportunity to work with over the course of Jeff Grossman's coaching career. I truly mean it. Yes, I'm not saying that they're a better talented team in real life, and listen, we're like 4 years down the road at this point, but that being said, this is the most athletic team that I've ever worked at. They were even more athletic than the Maryland offense that we got to work with last season. I don't know if it's the playbook or what's going on, but whatever it is, it's working well for us, giving us another huge lead here, as we now have a 41-17 lead. But I gotta give respect to this East Carolina squad. They are certainly not giving up yet as Garcia gets around McCormick. He was there to make a play, but he is simply too slow to do anything about it. So the Pirates look for another touchdown. They actually hand it off to the fullback, Brad Brooks, but he is going to be denied though. So a 4th and goal in the East Carolina. They're going to have to go for it here, and they choose to throw. Garcia with some time and finds Taj Hudson in the end zone. Touchdown, East Carolina. And they're still not done yet. They need a lot of help here. And to try to help get back into this game a little bit sooner, they're going to actually go for the 2-point conversion. It would make it a 2-possession game, but this defense does end up standing tall, so it will remain a free-score game. As we'll check in on a studio update, and North Carolina barely avoids the upset. They beat West Virginia Tech 26-21. And they will remain undefeated as well. They now move to 7-0 on the season, fighting to get the opportunity to compete for a national championship game. Now, because of how my Xbox 360 is set up, I do not have the ability to get the college football playoff on here, so it's still straight up. Top 2 teams make it to the national championship game. Number 3 and number 4, they're both going to be left out, so something to think about as we get closer to the end of the season, as East Carolina does end up getting another touchdown on the board. This time it's Ray Rose who is able to go ahead and get behind the defense. And after the extra point, it's just a 2-possession game. However, if they don't end up getting this onside kick, this game can essentially be over. And sure enough, Holden Williams was certainly able to go ahead and get the onside kick. USF will recover. That's actually going to wrap up this game. It actually turned out into an extremely competitive matchup here in the American Conference. We still end up going ahead and taking care of business, as we will remain undefeated. And we are now, I believe, 7-0 with this 44-30 victory over East Carolina. As for the Pirates, they got to fight for their bull lives, now 3-6. So we will end up improving to 7-0 on the season. But you got to give credit where credit is due. This East Carolina team, they refused to give up. They played to the bitter end, and they gave us a tough game, but we found a way to win it. You know, 200 yards on the ground, 264 through the air. Did have one interception in the second half, but we did end up winning the turnover battle once again. This is the worst game that our defense played, but we still won by multiple possessions though. We still took care of business, and we still have a 0 next to our name in the loss column. Checking out the stats for our guys real quick, and Timmy Mclean, he was feeling himself out there, man. 21 for 32, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. Did have that one interception in the beginning of the second half that kept East Carolina in it just a little bit longer, but other than that, he did end up having a really nice game. Now, as for the rushing attack, though, we only 2 players handed the football the entire time, but both of them got 100 yards rushing. Brian Battle ended up with 20 carries for 109 yards, and then Timmy Mclean also hit 100 yards on the ground as well, off of just 11 carries. Now, as for our receiving game, you know, the receivers did their thing as well, particularly Yusef Terry. The Philadelphia product ended up going 100 yards in this one, 7 catches and a tub as well. Gunnar Greenwald found the end zone as well off of 4 catches for 44 yards. And then Jimmy Horn Jr., who had that 3 touchdown game against Tulsa, ended up finding the end zone again, just the one time, and only for 3 catches and 42 yards. Now, for the defensive side of the ball, our starters, you know, got some more stats because they were on the field a little bit longer than usual. Will Jones II did lead the team in tackles today. He ended up with 9 tackles in this one, 8 solo. Jamari Stewart, though, he was a menace in this one. 7 tackles, 3 TFLs as well, and then 2 sacks to go with it. He led the team in sacks today, but Grady Nugent and Todd Walden were both able to get up in there and sack this quarterback as well. Not to mention that we got our first defensive touchdown of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Jalen Stokes got a pick six today. The junior from Auburndale, Florida, took it 35 yards to the crib. And then we also saw Todd Walden get a forced fumble while East Carolina was in the red zone. And it was none other than Jamari Stewart who got the fumble recovery. It was a tough day for our defense, giving 30 points, but they also forced turnovers and made this quarterback uncomfortable. And the most important thing is, we're 7-0 on the season. And because of our win on the field against both Tulsa and East Carolina, we did end up securing a couple more recruits. Now, they aren't the most decorated necessarily. I'm still working on some of these higher rated recruits that are in battles with, but Clarence Billings and Mark Matthews will both at least provide us some depth at the wide receiver position. That was a position of need for us going into this season. So for the very first time in this season, we are actually going to be ranked in the top 25. We are now ranked number 18 in the nation, and we have to keep the focus. Next episode, we got the Memphis Tigers coming into town, moving into Southern Florida. They've been a little down bad this year, 1-5, but they do have a pretty decent team on paper, so we can't take them for granted. That's how we keep getting these blowouts. You know, having that laser focus is going to be a good episode, man. So if you enjoyed today's doubleheader, I need you guys to go ahead and do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you have to be brand new. This is John J Gaming on the mic, signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.